pressure on them to get it done here on their home court. We'll pause now for the national anthems of our two competing nations, starting with the national anthem of the visitors from the Bahamas.
Please stand up for the national anthem of Bahamas.
And now for the national anthem of Puerto Rico. Well, the coaches, their staffs will meet and shake hands and exchange mementos ahead of this contest, the two teams as well. And then they'll get back and get set to what is a hugely important landmark on the road to Doha for the World Cup. These two teams fighting it out to try and get through to the next stage of that journey. Of referees, Messrs. Bartel dos Santos and Flores getting set for their part in the action as well. The Bahamas certainly showed their offensive mettle on the first game of this window. Really shot the ball well early on, got themselves going. Clark, Franco Miller, Smith, Mobley, and Tavario Miller, the starting five for the Bahamas. Just five coming off the bench. They rely heavily on this starting unit to provide them their offense. Coach Moses Johnson is well supported by his assistants and associate coaches that certainly help in their quest to get a win on the board. Puerto Rico will go with Fernandez, Melendez, Thompson, Romario, and Ortiz today. A bit more depth off the bench for them. Plummer was excellent in the previous game, although he did have that shot to win it that he'll have wished had gone in, because he didn't go right in overtime. Coach Gonzalez will know his team desperate for a victory here. As I say, they would be 2 games behind the Bahamas if they were to lose this game, and of course they still play the Bahamas again away in the final contest of this qualification stage, so they could catch them up and win the head-to-head, but they'd need the Bahamas to lose at home to Jamaica, and they would have to go to Canada and win, and you don't want to rely on another team losing. You want to keep it in your own destiny. That's why a victory here would be so important, because it would pull Puerto Rico and the Bahamas level in the standings. It is, I mentioned the coaching support. It's Addy Walters there giving the pre-game team talk. Right, the 2 5s set and ready to take to the court for this hugely important contest for both their chances. I feel like the winner of this game will take the box seat in the battle for qualification. Obviously, Jamaica could get pulled back towards them. Canada already through. Now Puerto Rico will be smarting from that defeat the other day, particularly as they will have felt they did enough to win the game in the 40 minutes. But you got to see it over the line, and they were unable to do so, which is why they're in the position they are now.
Ready.
10 minutes on the clock, thumbs up all round from the officials. The ball is up and we are underway. Welcome wherever you're joining us from to the Roberto Clemente in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where the Bahamas are in town. It is the home team, all in white, who will get the opening possession of the game. And oh, it's a big man move inside from Romero, but he's unable to finish the play. Some nice footwork, but the hook didn't drop for him. Here's Mobley. Looking to attack, no way past Romero, has to fire from almost the free throw line with one hand. What a shot that is. Isaiah Mobley making that look easy. Hernandez firing up the three. Oh, what a tip. That was a great piece of athleticism from Thompson to bat that home. Right down the middle goes Miller, but nothing doing. Fernandez, Romario on the trail, and he will take the foul. These two teams with 10 previous meetings, that's the previous play, 9 of them won by Puerto Rico. The one victory for the Bahamas was here in qualifiers for the 2025 FIBA America Cup. It's February 24 they won here, 88-77. Romero's second shot is short, and early active hands around the basket for Thompson. He can only knock that out of play. little full court pressure here as well from Puerto Rico. Clark is almost forgot the ball there. Clark moves it on to Franco Miller. Mobley was looking inside, it wasn't there. Shot clock getting low. Mobley able to get to the rim himself. And the foul is called just before the shot clock buzzer. So Isaiah Mobley will go to the free throw line. First foul of the game on Chris Ortiz. Mobley with the first 3 points of the game for his team. And perfect from the line on that trip. Into Fernandez. Ortiz to Thompson. Fernandez now. Around the high screen, drops it to Romero, rolling to the basket. And he lays it home. Clark. Clark has it knocked loose. Can't quite keep it in play. Romero strong to the hole, getting him some early touches today. Smith gets it into Mobley. Spinning baseline. Out cross court. Franco Miller for the three. That doesn't go. Fernandez gets to the free throw line. Nice cut off the ball, but Melendez unable to pull that one in. Clark for the Bahamas. Miller's going to take the shot, front iron from Tavario Miller. Thompson with the pull-up, top of the key, draws iron. Clark around the high screen, snaking his way into the key, just bobbles out. But Tavario Miller on the glass for the rebound, fouled on the floor, so it'll be an end-line ball. Lobbed into Tavario Miller. Hands it off to Franco, right back to Tavario. And the Millers combining well there, but no points at the end of it. Romero out and running. Thompson with the pull-up three. Oh, transition three rattles about. Two Bahamian players there. Neither could get their hands on it. Stepped on the line there, Ortiz. Kai Jones, who didn't play in the first game of this window, into the action for the first time tonight. Mobley looking for some space, and he started the game aggressively. He's got all 6 of his team's points. Oh, Ortiz freed him of the key there. Not sure where his defender was, but nowhere near him, really. Pull up three. He's short from Clark. Fernandez. Melendez inside to Romero. Stepping under and laying it home. He's got a little baby flex at the end of it. Clark. Miller coming off the screen, kicks out to the corner. Three balls haven't been dropping here in the early stages at either end of the floor. Alley-oop is thrown up and thrown down. Super pass and jammed home by RJ Melendez. Clark. Miller turned away and the pass deflected by Thompson. Fernandez will sit down for the first time. They enjoyed this, the home fans. Great pass, right on the money. And, well, Melendez throwing it down on top of the defender. Smith to inbound. Gets it into Jones. Jones looking to go himself here. Pulls up, off the mark. Rebound Thompson. And a reach in there from Canton Smith. Zakai Ziegler takes over the point guard duties. Ball pass a little behind Ortiz. He's able to recover. Ziegler. It's a kick ball, isn't it? Yes. You can see Coach Walters doing much of the instruction from the sideline. Lobbed all the way back to Toro. Thompson looking to get into the key, throws it up. I think he felt the contact and tossed it to ensure he would get some free throws. So Stephen Thompson Jr. at the free throw line. Good start here from Puerto Rico. They were up double figures against Canada in the first quarter of the game. Thompson will sit down. Been very active in the early stages of this contest. 4 points now, 3 rebounds as well. Clark sends it cross court. Here's Jones. Miller around the screen. Miller, he was trying to lob, but the pass was broken up. There was a chance to break, but not taken by Plummer. He backed out. Nice. Pinheiro off the glass through the contact. Pinheiro will go to the line for a bonus free throw. His first touch of the ball results in an and one. Not the best defense, you have to say, by Kenton Smith. That's his second personal foul as well, so he'll head to the bench. Davis, the replacement. Pinheiro at the line, just a little short there. And Jones is able to secure possession for the Bahamas. Only 6 points to show for the opening 6+ minutes here for the Bahamas. They really came out of the gate hot in Kingston. in the first game of this window. Not so much here in San Juan. Oh, that's a tremendous finish by Plummer. Getting to the rim, picking up where he left off the other night. Clark drives in, foul is on the floor. It's only the third foul of the quarter against Puerto Rico, so it will be sideline possession. Look at this little drag back, scooped it down. He got it up just before his feet landed. First foul on Pinheiro. Clark open for three, strings it. Golden Clark's first points of the game. They kind of needed that, Bahamas, as well. Shots hadn't been going in for them. Just 3 of 13 from the floor. Pinheiro again, rattles out. Davis with the rebound. Jones. Back out to Davis. Davis at the elbow, little flat. Great rebound. Pinheiro skying for that one. Space for Plummer. You know he's going to let it fly. He was knocking shots down for fun here against Canada. And he hits the triple. 20 points on the board for Puerto Rico inside 8 minutes. They're up double figures again in the first quarter. Davis with the radar missing there. This is going up, is it? It is. But it misses everything. I thought at first that Plummer might fire it again, but he moved it on to Ziegler, who appeared to have a better shot, but he was a long way off with it. That's not much resistance. Once the first man's beaten, Clark got all the way to the basket. Plummer, Ortiz at the high post. Toro down low, back out to Ortiz, into Pinheiro, and it's deflected away out of bounds by Clark. Ortiz sits down, changes two for the Bahamas. Say a slightly shorter rotation for them, although they do have Kai Jones in, who didn't play the other day. So a bit more to work with. Tough shot. Doesn't go from Plummer. Jones. Franco Miller. Running out of real estate. Stepped on the line. Couple of turnovers each here in the first quarter. Puerto Rico feeling good about their opening 9 minutes for sure. Up by 9. Ziegler. Around the three-point line it goes. Plummer looking to attack. Pinheiro moves it on. Ziegler in the corner. His three doesn't go. Davis comes away with it. Kicked out to the corner, but it's off the iron from Franco Miller. Well, that's a tough pass. In fact, it might be a shooting foul, that. Although it's going to be 2 shots anyway because they're over the limit. But Pinheiro did a really good job through the contact of just deflecting the ball back towards the basket. I think Coach Jones has called a timeout here. Well, they need something to turn around here. It's only 38 seconds to the end of the first quarter, but they're down 9, Bahamas.
Communicate. We're not talking out there. Let's keep getting back in transition. We're getting stops in transition. Let's keep doing that. Come on, you got to get to the dunker. You got to get to the dunker. You're better under the basket. Get down there. You're elected down there.
Hey, listen up. If they go to that zone, I want us to be basically a 3 around 2, and we're basically when the and we'll just keep working it. Ball goes around, dive back, and we're here, all right? Hey, and they're in man, and especially after misses, we've had so many opportunities to just be in 5 chase and have some kind of alignment that gets us organized, all right? But the biggest thing is we have to get back in transition. The shooters have gotten at least 3 corner threes, and then in the monster, you have to be lower and you have to be in line with the ball. And they're overloading it, so everyone has to shift over. All right, let's go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Well, transition defense was mentioned a couple of times in that timeout, and it's plays like this that you see, even though he hesitated, he still had plenty of time, Plummer, to let that fly. And he doesn't need much invitation to shoot a 3 ball, by the way. He's always ready to gun one. The last action before the timeout was the foul on Davis, which has sent Pinheiro to the free throw line. Chance to equal the biggest lead of the game of 11, and a chance he takes. Franco Miller. Back to Miller. Mobley at the high post. Mobley spinning. Can he grab it? Yes, he can, Jones. So a new 14. Back to Miller. He looks to attack. Shot clock low here. Gets it to Jones. He needs to get the ball up, and it was just stuck around his ankles. And he was crowded by white shirts. So the shot clock expired. And Puerto Rico will get it back with 6.8 to work with. Thompson returns. Pinheiro lobs it in. Ziegler's going to let it run. Now he goes. Pinheiro back to Ziegler. Oh, he's lost the ball now. Is there time for a heave? Well, I think it was late, but it was short either way. Great first quarter for the home team here. Double-figure lead after 10 minutes. Puerto Rico 22, Bahamas 11. Well, plenty for the brains trust of the Bahamas to work through here. And the shooting numbers will be of a concern. Just 3 for 12 from the 2-point range, 1 for 6 from behind the arc. So 4 of 18 for 22%. Tough to win a game shooting like that. Coming off the back of a 99-point performance in Kingston. They would have expected to have shot the ball a little better here. But at the other end of the floor, they've been pretty good inside the 3-point line, not so much outside. But they've been very efficient getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line, Puerto Rico. And transition, we heard in the timeout, something the Bahamas are looking to improve on their defense transitionally. And you're seeing the highlights exactly why. Well, Puerto Rico, they know this is pretty musty in terms of the must-win categories. And they've started it well. Scan the QR code, download the Courtside 1891 app, or you can go to the website and log in that way. Keep on top of all of the scores, the highlights from around the basketball world. underway in the second quarter. Bahamas trailing by 11 with the opening possession. Garvin Clark has it. Hunter under pressure, hoping to get bailed out by a whistle. Didn't come his way. Plummer. Ziegler tosses it inside. Kapos to the turnaround. Doesn't go. Kick forward, what a pass! And Tavario Miller with the one-handed flush. Well, the Bahamas showing they can get out in transition for some fast break points. Ziegler looking inside. Romero back out to Ziegler. Resets to the big man. Just not quite enough on that, but he gets his own rebound, comes back with the hook. Doesn't go, and Mobley with the rebound. Going back inside to Tavario Miller, but he's crowded out of it. Thompson comes away with the ball. Thompson gets it back. He's round the screen. Ziegler uses his speed, drops it off to Romero from close range. Romero up to 7 now. Clark. Tavario Miller at the free throw line, out to Franco Miller, deep one, rattles out, just missed that one. Romero with another rebound. He's looking for a double-double by halftime. Ziegler back to Plummer. Plummer, a little hesitation, scoops one up, but he can't get the roll. Tavario Miller with the rebound. Well, nobody stopped the ball. Mobley just kept going there. Got all the way to the rim. Romero on to Thompson. Thompson looking to get downhill to the finger roll. That one just bubbles out as well. Clark waving Hunter through to let Mobley have space, and they've backed off him. Three-pointer doesn't go. That is his 7th rebound of the game for Romero. He's got 7 and 7. He's only played 13 minutes. Both teams struggling from behind the arc. They both made plenty of them in the first game of this window. Clark, cross court. Here's a chance for 3. That doesn't go from Hunter. Ziegler slows it down a little bit. Now Thompson. Back to Ziegler. Ziegler around the high screen. Drops in a little pocket pass to Romero, rolling to the rim. He'll go to the line again. One or two on his first trip. Romario makes the first. He's got the best efficiency rating in the game so far, thanks to his solid work at both ends of the floor. The second one is short. Falls nicely to Kai Jones. Franco Miller. So took a couple of bounces, but it did get to Jones. He's looking to attack. No way through, so he has to go back out to Clark. Shot clock at 4. Clark fires up to 3. Long rebound comes out to Franco Miller. Jones is going to line one up. We haven't seen too many threes go in this game, but Kai Jones adds one. His first points of this window. Ortiz. Fernandez coming around the screen, but broken up by Clark. Bahamas looking to get out and run. Here comes, oh, unlucky Jones. Right through the middle. Took the contact. Looked like he was going to turn that into a three-point play, but he'll have to settle for 2 free throws. Second foul this. Against the man of the moment in the first half, the Puerto Rican captain, Romero. He's missed them both. And it's chased down by Arnaldo Toro. Fernandez. Out to Ortiz. He launches the three and he strings it. Chris Ortiz's first triple of the game. Puerto Rico back up by 10. Oh, he somehow got away from Jones there. Looked like a dunk coming, but broken up. Jones going the other way. Wow, home fans enjoying the fact he threw that off the back of the ring. Didn't matter for anything. Foul was called long since. This will be a sideline ball that Samuel Hunter will inbound. Gets it right back. Fires up the three. A rebound Ortiz. Fernandez. Working the high pick and roll with Toro and getting plenty of space off that screen as well for a mid-range jumper. First points of the contest for Jada Fernandez. Jones, little dribble there, didn't end up with anything. Maybe they need to move the ball a little more than that. Humphrey roll the third. Returns to the game. Ortiz. Thompson along the baseline. Long three from Ortiz. Oh, and he switches it home. Chris Ortiz is up to 8, and the lead is out to 15. Lobbed up the alley-oop and jammed in. They needed a response, and Kai Jones with the throwdown. Here's Thompson in the corner. His three doesn't go. Mobley with the rebound. Miller, too big, too strong, taking it right at Fernandez, and he lays it in. A couple of quick scores have got it down to 11. And Coach Gonzalez wants to talk it over as a result. They're in a good position here. 3 minutes from halftime. They want to capitalize on it, Puerto Rico.
Keep going. Keep going. Yo, they overloaded me with 2. So whoever's up top, whatever guard is up top, just listen for me. They overloaded. I got 2, so if they go corner or whatever, just listen to what I tell you to come over. All right?
Vamos para atrás, hombre, hombre.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Dale, que está por 11. Dale, que está por 11.
Vamos, consistente, puñeta.
Vamos, vamos. Está por 11.
Vamos a hacerle cuentan todas, coño. Vamos. If they press, 0, 1 and 2, 3 half court, 5 here. Boom, 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 and we get there. Got it? If they press, swing back, and then we get it. You got it now?
You want me to stay behind or go middle?
I'm behind, stay behind. Now, listen, half court. We go 13 now. Ball screen, swing, and set the screen, go to the corner. Move by the baseline. Because when they got this guy after the last screen, you got the post to post. Watch it. Let's go. 13. Keep it 13.
Well, perfectly weighted lob, and Jones was right there to finish it off. Up 11, Puerto Rico, as we pick up the action again. Thompson. It's all around the three-point line at the minute. Fernandez. Well, he just hasn't seen a mid-range he doesn't like the look of, has he? They all look like they're going straight in as well. Miller off the mark, but it's jammed in. Jones on the rebound, playing above the rim once again. Fernandez. Thompson in the corner, short on the three. Rebound grab by Smith. Here comes Miller, fouled by Ramses Melendez. Tavario Miller's going to come back into the game for Mobley. Just Melendez reacting too late there, wasn't it? You can see he's past him and he's in trouble then. Even a little nudge in the back wasn't enough. Miller, deep three, good. Franco Miller from behind the arc. Cuts it down to 8. And he missed his first 5. He's got 1 to go. Fernandez along the baseline. Pinheiro out to Plummer for 3. Halfway down, but out. Here's Franco Miller again. Ooh, that's a friendly bounce. They haven't had too many of them in the game today. But that one, almost as if the rim was sucking it in, has cut the Puerto Rican lead down to 5. It was as many as 15. But suddenly a couple of threes, and Bahamas right back on their tails again.
Screen, roll, corner. We're standing down there. We are not movement. 3 walking back shots. Neta, coño.
If you made the first screen, you go low gap.
13 side. Go to the corner. Have patience. Now this guy get to the middle. Watch this guy. Nothing happened. Then he coming out. Watch this guy here. When you come here, because he can get there. Boom, boom. Pass to the corner. Have patience. Not all the way. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, he's looked increasingly frustrated with every timeout. It doesn't help when they had one at the other end. Draw about as much iron as this one did, but theirs went out and that one dropped in. Puerto Rico 35, Bahamas 30. Just over 100 seconds to halftime. You feel like if either team could have a little 5-0, 7-2 finish to the half, it'd make a huge difference. It's the gap between 10 and tied. Fernandez circles back out to Ortiz. Pinheiro now. Here's Plummer. Back it comes to Fernandez. Trying to get it to Romero. Oh, somehow it did get to him. Well, it ricocheted about, but it ended up right in the hands of the Puerto Rican captain, and he did the rest. And he's there grabbing a rebound as well. He's just shy of a double-double. 10 points and 8 rebounds in the first half. Here he is again, and he's in off the glass. What a first half the big man has had for them. 12 points and 8 rebounds, a captain's performance so far. And he's pushed their lead back out to 9. And just as they did late in the first quarter, Bahamas having to call a timeout late here in the second.
Hey, down here, same thing. We're overloading the zone, and they're in man. Let's just go 5 chase, all right? Hey, it's bingo, so we got to go quick. All right, we want to score between around 33. Does that make sense? 2 for 1. 2 for 1. All right, everything else is fine.
Okay. Hey, let's get 2 buckets. Hey, we can do this together. Yeah, okay? We got to stay together. Yeah, together. All right? Let's go. Hey, win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Well, trying to make the most of the clock in a situation like this. Make sure you run enough time, but not too much, so that you can get another go back. Trying to make it a 3-possession, 54 seconds. Rather than 4. If you go too quick, you give them 2 goes. A little show of full court, nothing too strenuous. Pretty even in the, well, that's a little earlier than they were told to shoot, but they get an offensive rebound, so that'll work. Miller, now they want to go. Mobley gets the shot away, that is short. They might have enough time to come back the other way. It's not going to be much. Pinheiro with the rebound. The idea was to get 2 scores to none, but that's not going to happen. Fernandez, Pinheiro. He's trying to leave it as late as he dare. Fires up the 3. Front iron, still 5 seconds left. Miller going. Miller kicks it out. Smith gets it away, and it doesn't bounce up and over and in. And Puerto Rico will go into the locker room with a 9-point lead. We're at the half here in San Juan. Puerto Rico 39, Bahamas 30. Well, Bahamas will feel they will shoot the ball a bit better in the second half. Both teams want to improve from the 3-point line. Rebounds pretty even, but you can see the difference in the assists. It's only 9 points with the 7 different in the assists. She's the difference between moving the ball and a little more one-on-one stuff. Romero, definitely the star of the first half with his 12 points and 8 rebounds. But both coaches with some work to do here at the interval. Let's have a look back at some of the action here from the second quarter. Kind of ebbed and flowed, but in the end it was almost dead even. Bahamas won that quarter, but only by 19 points to 17. So they only managed to take 2 out of the 11-point deficit they faced at the end of the quarter because they got off to such a slow offensive start, scoring only 11 points. And maybe Puerto Rico might have profited a little more in the first quarter than they did. Remember, they led by as many as 15. The Bahamas kind of grew into that first half. But still all to play for in San Juan in a game Puerto Rico pretty much have to win. It's not mathematical, but boy, it would make that last window a lot easier for them if they were able to knock off Bahamas here today. We're at the interval in San Juan. Puerto Rico 39, Bahamas 30.
Let's get this body size. Oh my goodness sakes, that's a throwdown.
Goes in for the dunk.
Good night. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
Bogdanovich, who goes in and scores. Ah!
This is what it's all about.
It's all one big basketball family, folks.
Winning time.
Both teams over the limit.
You have got to be kidding me!
Jorginho. Yeah, this is going up. Steps back for three. He's got it. And that just adds insult right there. Takes the lead up to 15 points at halftime.
Ortiz back into the ball game, and that's much better. Romero rocking the rims in San Juan.
Free, eventually find Miller. He got a pretty good look, and Miller makes it. Incredible shot for Franco Miller. Will that seal the game? It's a 6-point lead now.
Oh, Jones just leaked out. Oh, that one. Atencia with the two, just stayed with the play.
Now he's going to get some space. Odish all the way, glides in and then slams it home. But what hasn't this man done? Been everywhere, both ends of the floor. Odish just showed the offensive package today.
Static three-point shot, back iron for Campbell. Now a chance for the out-and-out largest lead off the back of that miss. That's what it can cost you.
No free throws for Mendel, but they get it inside and going in for the rim rocker.
Just uses his pace. Atencia has it. Now they've got to make a decision. Great pass. Oh, Enrique puts an exclamation mark on the game. Throws it down.
Only lead by 4 now, and here comes a steal from Mejia. He came in from the blind side. Now they give it back. Now they get the flush. Good ball movement there. And the punch by Soriano. Solano We'll tell everyone, let's slow it down. The United States was able to get back there on defense. Swatted again by Wiseman, his third block of the game. Roddy the other way, lobs it up. Wiseman, the alley-oop finish. A 1-2 punch by the United States.
How many times are we going to see this? Baseline. Are you kidding me? Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. I'll go tax the closeout. Big Bruno inside. Fills it up.
Eight, 9-point game here. Puerto Rico leading Bahamas. Is Mobley, the leading scorer so far in this game, as far as the Bahamas are concerned. They just need to find a little more efficiency, particularly from three-point range. They're not shy in getting them up, but they've not really put too many down. They missed a few twos as well. They're only 40% from two-point range. At the other end of the floor, well, Romero has been dominating proceedings with 12 points and 8 rebounds at the half. The big man, he had his shirt ripped in the game against Canada and still came back to patrol the paint after that. And he has been really excellent tonight. And I've had no real answer for him. He's such a powerful man down in that key. And they really were unable to keep him away from the rim. He could have had a few more. There were a couple of hooks he didn't get to go. But the job is only half done as far as Puerto Rico are concerned. And they will, of course, remember a couple of nights ago how they had a comfortable lead against Canada in the first half. They were still leading late in the game. They were leading with, I think it was about 15 seconds ago when that shot rimmed out and the rebound was right there for them. Two players got a hand on it. Neither of them were able to pull it in. Between Ortiz and Fernandez, they've just been able to keep that in play. They'd have had the ball up one and in a position to win the game. Certainly Canada would have had to go into foul mode. But as it was, it ended up being a Canadian possession, and Carl Wiltshire made 1 of 2 from the free throw line to tie it up, and then Plummer missed on the buzzer, and in overtime they looked a bit tired, Puerto Rico, in overtime. It's another factor, of course, today is that Puerto Rico did have an overtime game, but I guess the Bahamas are the ones who've been traveling, because they were obviously in Kingston for the first game of this window, and now they come here, whereas Puerto Rico, both their games have been here in San Juan, so they've had the home comforts. Final rounds of this competition are in July, when Puerto Rico go to Canada and they go to the Bahamas. That game against Bahamas could be huge, could be a decisive game. There's still plenty of basketball to be played between now and then, but it is looming large. Bahamas are at home for their last 2 contests. Jamaica And then obviously Puerto Rico in the second one. They had a thrilling game with Jamaica. So that won't be a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. And that Jamaicans will be out for revenge. That's, to this point, Jamaica's first defeat of the contest. Canada are in Kingston tonight. That one's tipping off shortly in the other game in this group. Canada already secured passage through to the second round. With that victory over Puerto Rico, it's pushed them to 3-0. So they can have their choice, really, of those last two games. The last two games for Canada are all at home. They played Puerto Rico and then Jamaica at home in the summer. But Puerto Rico here, up 9, will be thinking, let's get a good start to this second half and try and break the back of this game. Got to 15, and at that point, it looked like they had an opportunity to really blow the game open. Bahamas weren't really making any shots. And he will have felt, you could see it in his timeouts, that he felt like his team had not taken full advantage of the situation that they faced. And you know Bahamas are going to come back into it, make some shots. They've got too many playmakers for that not to happen. So you got to kind of make hay while the sun shines. And I guess if you said at the beginning of the game, we'll give you a 9-point lead at half time, he'd have said thank you very much. I'll take that. Of the scenario coming into this game. Bahamas 1 and 2 above the line. Puerto Rico 0 and 3 below the line. They will be level on record. But the points difference will put Puerto Rico above Bahamas if they can hang on to this win. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest scores, stats, highlights, everything you need from the World Cup qualifiers. Scan the QR code, download the World Cup qualifiers app, and whether it's in Asia, Europe, America, anywhere around the world, you can keep on top of it. Here we go then, underway in the second half at the Roberto Clemente in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with the opening possession, looking to re-establish a double-figure lead against the Bahamas. Here's Melendez for 3, off the mark, rebound 4. Oh, what a block that is. It fell nicely to Fernandez at first, and he thought he had time, but he didn't, because Kentuan Smith was closing the door. Melendez to inbound. Fernandez kicks it out. Thompson had to reach for it. Shot clock low. Not a great foul at the end of the shot clock. Smith is trying to argue that he got hooked there, but either way, you don't want to give the opportunity of committing a foul that late in the shot clock. Thompson drives all the way to the basket underneath and lays it home. First score of the second half goes to the home team. Miller to Clark. Clark back to Tavario Miller. His shot is short. Romario grabs his 9th rebound of the game. There's Romario again, handing it off to Fernandez. Romario trying to use his strength and guile, but the pass is broken up. Back to Miller. Miller attacks, drops it off to his namesake. Tavario couldn't quite hang on to that, but it went out of bounds off RJ Melendez. Miller to Clark. Clark fires up the 3 off the mark, and there is that double-double for the Puerto Rican captain. His 10th rebound of the game. He'd already got 12 points. Ortiz. Thompson. Romero kicks it out. Ortiz's 3 is off the mark. Thompson. Melendez for 3. Short. Oh, they've got a couple bobblers like that. I think they're going to have to call a foul there because Mobley was going to go out of bounds. He was bumped by Romero. It's one of those where you could almost let it go if it wasn't going to be a turnover. It's sort of incidental. It's his 3rd foul, by the way. Tossed up, but short. But another go from range. Why have 2 when you can have 3, says Franco Miller. Cuts it back to 8. Fernandez. Out to Thompson. Goes along the baseline. Whose foot did that bounce off? It came off his. He was convinced it was the other way. Well, that 3rd foul has sent Romero to the bench here early in the 3rd quarter. Kai Jones is going to return. I don't know if that's a deliberate substitution because Romero is off court. Here's Miller, top of the key for 3. Rebound Ziegler. Trying to flip that in and came off the foot of Antoine Smith. He's saying it came off my knee. But it looked a little lower than the knee, but it was also a kick out at the ball, which is still a football violation, even if it's not exactly the foot. Quite a few substitutions here. We're only 3 minutes into the quarter. Usually coaches leave it 4 minutes, sometimes 5 before they make a sub. 5-second violation. Really unnecessary one as well. What Ziegler was waiting for. It looked like the pass was there straight away. Franco Miller on to Jones. Clark back to Jones. Keep exchanging possession. skipped all the way across to Mobley. Did he get all the way behind the line? Does he fire that up? It is a 3. He had to jump back to make sure his feet were behind the line. The gap's down to 5. Ortiz. Melendez now. Ziegler drops it off nicely to Toro, who goes in between the 2 defenders to lay it home. Toro doing a really good job there. Oh, nice attack. But he missed the layup, claiming a basket interference. I'm not sure it was. Certainly the referees didn't think it was. Oh, not quite from Plummer. Miller taking it in and taking out a couple of people there, Ortiz and Jones. He's quite a big unit, Franco Miller. Looks like he knows his way around the weight room, put it that way. So him landing on your legs is not necessarily a good thing. It's a good finish from Toro. Here he goes through. It's a definite foul there, but you can see he took 2 of them out like a bowling ball knocking over pins. Gums being chewed hard there by Coach Walters. As her and her coaching colleagues trying to come up with the keys to unlock this team. Double figures now for Franco Miller. 5 points separating the teams. Ortiz. Ziegler bounced it off the hip of Miller on the way out. Pinheiro, late shot clock, does he see it? Yes, he does. Front iron on that one. Miller in attack mode again, kicks it out to Clark. Clark gets downhill, throws it back out to Miller. 1 extra pass to Mobley. That's a tough shot. They had a couple of good looks, turned them down, ended up with a more difficult one at the end of it. Ortiz. Oh, he got caught on the elbow. Well, that's not a foul you want to give up. Chris Ortiz will go to the free throw line midway through 3rd quarter. Looking to get into double figures. Davis is going to come in for Smith. Clark on to Franco Miller, back to Clark. In the corner is Jones. Good ball movement. Davis fresh into the game. Somehow that doesn't go in. And you like the offense though. All saw both sides. Ooh, that might have come off the body. It didn't. Toro through the middle, had it slapped away. They're going to review that? I think they are. Or is it just a timeout? I thought at first it made the... Yeah, it is a challenge. Oh, Well, that's what it says on screen. It looked like they made a challenge screen. The referees haven't gone to the monitor yet. It is a challenge, so they'll go have a look at it. I must admit, to the naked eye, it looked to me like it might have come down off Toro on the way out. It's a good slap at the ball in the beginning. It's got all ball. It's hard to tell from that angle. This one should be a bit more conclusive. Oh, actually, no. It did hit somebody on the way out, but it looks like it was Mobley to me. Looks like there might have been two deflections down there and then just off the stomach of Mobley on the way out. Let's see if that's the conclusion the officials have come to. It is. It's going to be a white ball. Both coaches using that challenge opportunity to have a quick timeout. So 17 on the shot clock. Puerto Rico ball from the end. It's into Plummer. He's not quite been as explosive as he was the other day. It's not quite been his game to this point. He's got 5 points. Mobley forced all the way out. Considering attacking again. Gets into the key. Oh, he's screaming for a foul. I must admit, I thought he might get one, but doesn't matter what I think. The referees didn't. Ortiz for 3. Misses everything. Good work to keep that alive from Toro. And they get 3 in the corner. Here he comes. Alfonso Plummer up to 8. Second 3 of the night. Again, it's out to 10. Franco Miller drops it off. That is a foul. Kai Jones underneath. There haven't been loads of offensive rebounds. It's one of the second chance points were low, but these were important ones. They just need to keep the distance. That's the thing. Keep it around 8, 9, 10. You've got that insurance policy for the fourth quarter. Eight points now for Kai Jones. Make that 9. There's a try, Ziegler. Surveying his options. Plummer. Back to Ziegler. Ziegler with the speed, tosses it up high, just out of the reach of Toro on the offensive glass. Miller backs away. He's telling Jones to go in, but he shoots the 3 himself. Offensive rebound, grabbed by Hunter. Claw attacks. Oh, Miller, I think he thought he was going to shoot. Couldn't quite pull it in. Gets applauded from the bench for the intent. It's been relatively well taking care of the ball in this game. Only 12 turnovers between them. We're not far off the fourth quarter. 3 ball is up and 3 ball is good. Pinheiro with the triple. Oh, that only just reached Franco Miller. He goes into the key. A little slap down at the ball at the end by Arnaldo Toro. His initial defense was good, but just went chasing that block, and as soon as the hands go down, it's almost impossible to avoid a foul.
Cambio por el equipo de Puerto Rico, entra el número 18, Cristian Negron.
Well, Christian Negron into the game. Not seeing too much time today. Played less than a minute in the first half. Might get a couple of minutes here. Filler to the fourth quarter. So it stays in double figures, 51-41. Hooked out. Capos hits the three. And Puerto Rico's lead is 13. You're starting to look at it now and go, 13 feels quite a lot when you've only scored 41. Feels like quite a big lead now. Can they get three back with Hunter? Yes, they can. It feels like, if you look at the scoreboard, you say it's quite a big lead because it's a relatively low-scoring game. But you know that the Bahamas can get hot pretty quick. They're not averse to a 30-point quarter. Nice pass. And the two-handed throwdown. Negron to the rim, flushes it home. That's got the decibels level up a little here. And Roberto Clemente stepping under and stepping through his block. But he's on the deck now, so they've got numbers here, 5 on 4. Stepping into another three, not this time from Capos. The roof would have come off if they knocked down another one. Oh, that is too nice, but he misses it. Miller gets his own rebound, but slips and loses the ball. Plummer gets it back, corner three, you know this is going up. It's a little short though. And game's got a bit loose here. Whoa! Kai Jones hits the deck hard as he was looking to take off for the alley-oop. Hopefully he's okay on that one. I think the issue was Miller had gone down on the previous play, and because there was no stoppage, the floor wipers couldn't do a big job on cleaning it up. And then the ball comes back super quick. And unfortunately for him, he hit the deck, but he does seem to be okay. Capos. Ziegler has it now. Trying to milk this clock as late as they dare. Ziegler fires up the three. Another one in and out. Offensive rebound. Capos trying to put it back before the buzzer doesn't go. Thompson gets it away. What a hit! Unbelievable from Stephen Thompson Jr. right on the quarter buzzer to get the fans on their feet here in San Juan. It is Puerto Rico 58, Bahamas 44. And they are 10 minutes away from an all-important win. What a bucket that was with time expiring. And Puerto Rico shooting the ball well from inside. That's been the driving force. But what a heck of a play that was to end the quarter. Those sort of momentum shots, they're only worth 2 on the scoreboard, but boy, they lift the team and can be worth even more than that to the mentality of a side. Let's have a look back at some of the action from the third quarter here. And it's another quarter where Puerto Rico have added to their lead. Bahamas with just 14 points in that period. There was a moment or two where it looked like they were coming on a run. They were eating into the deficit. But Puerto Rico had the response and were able to push it back out. As long as it stays, as I said, around that double-figure margin, the edge of 10, you'd be quite happy. They'll certainly be quite happy. Bahamas have work to do on the road here in the second game of the window. They've already won one. This was a heck of a shot. In Kingston, they were trying to make it a perfect window with 2 wins. Make sure you scan the QR code for courtside 1891 and keep on top of all of the action in our app, or you can go to the website as well. There we go then, 10 minutes for Puerto Rico to see this home and claim an all-important win in their bid to make it through to the second round of the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. Fourth quarter, Bahamas with the ball in a 14-point hole. That's a nice pass. Here's Miller. 3 is off the back of the iron and chased down by Negron. Well, a score here, and Puerto Rico will have their biggest lead of the contest. Here's Miller slightly, here's Thompson, slightly more orthodox shot that he made at the end of the quarter, but that doesn't go. This is Miller driving into traffic, screaming for a foul, nothing coming his way. Poked away from Pinheiro, and he barrels into Jones. Well, a scrappy opening, 50 seconds, but Puerto Rico won't mind. They'd happily have a 0-0 quarter and win this game by 14. That won't happen, obviously, but they won't mind trading empty possessions or scores as long as they're trading. It's the Bahamas who've got to push from here. Clark all the way to the basket. Again, he's on the deck, so they're 5-on-4 here. Well, Mobley trying to stop the play and didn't manage to do it. You've got to keep going for the whistle. Here's Thompson for 3 for an iron. Miller with the rebound. Hunter. Down to, there's the dunker spot for Kai Jones. They were telling him in an earlier timeout he needed to be down in that dunker spot. That is exactly why. Negron, what an impact he's had, although he can't finish that one. Came on, he hadn't really played in the first half, but he's had a few good minutes here in the second. That's knocked away, but last touch by Clark. So that will go back the other way. Well, almost 2 minutes have gone by. 2-0 in this quarter. They've got to up the points production, Bahamas. Right down the middle, it's blocked in the end by Jones, but not before the foul was called. So Romero, who's a long time on the bench because he picked up that third foul. It's probably about 10 minutes ago now that he picked that foul up. Went out of the game, I would say about 3 minutes into the half. And the backups have done a good job that they didn't have to take a risk. I'm sure if it got really close, Coach Gonzalez would have thrown his captain back in there because he's playing so well. But he hadn't needed to. So he's protected him to this point. And, well, that double-double has long since been secured. And he's looking to add to it. Mobley lobbing it up, and there he is again. Kai Jones rocking the rim with regularity. Ziegler. Ortiz gets it on to Pinheiro. Back to Ziegler. Ziegler using his speed. Somehow gets the pass to Romero. Can't quite lay it home. Mobley. Davis fires up the triple, back iron on that one. What a rebound that is from Stephen Thompson under all sorts of pressure. Ziegler going the opposite way to the screen. Pinheiro running baseline. Romero, oh, sent back by Kai Jones. The big block. Hunter inside lays it home. Well, it's going to be a timeout now. It's just a moment of concern. They still have a cushion here, but it's down to 10. It's only a 6-2 start, but it's enough for Coach Gonzalez to want to talk things over. Obviously, they had a lead slip on Friday. They don't want that to happen again today. They've looked pretty comfortable, I'll be honest with you. Bahamas have been way behind for most of the game. They led by 2 in the early stages, but they've been behind by this sort of margin, sort of double figures, around about 10 for almost all the game. You can play Fantasy League, scan the QR code, register to play. Pick your favorite team. See how good you are at assembling your squad. Well, they just need to keep doing what they're doing. Their offense has dried up a little bit here. Just 2 points in this quarter. They get another 20 points in the quarter, they'll be good to go. Bahamas lost their challenge earlier. It's one of those games where you sort of go, well, they've only scored 50 with 8 minutes to go. They're probably going to need to get to at least 70. That's kind of out of character with what we've seen to this point, because their quarters have been 11, 19, 14. You're suddenly wanting them to get to high 20s. But they are a team that can flip the switch, and suddenly threes go flying in. But you would say Puerto Rico are as well. They could easily respond. Seen a little bit of this zone with Jones at the top of it a few times today. Nice pass. Romero, he's blocked again by Jones. Well, Jones might be at the top of the key, but here he is running the floor and throwing it down. What an impact Kai Jones is having on the fourth quarter here. At both ends of the floor. Dunking at one end, blocking shots at the other. And Bahamas slowly reeling them in. Oh, they won't catch Romero as he goes right down the middle. That's the problem with having the big man at the top. There can be gaps. Nice attack, good finish as well. 2 feet in the paint for Franco Miller. I think this is a bit of dampness on the ball. Sub for the ball. Fernandez kind of feel like they need to just keep it out. There are massive gaps here. Fernandez is open for 3 and pushes it back out to double figures. The problem is because they've got 3 players so high, the gaps are in behind. With a good pass, you can get an open look. We saw the dunk and then a 3. Mobley's going to step back for 3. He's missed everything. And Hunter can't keep it in play. I just wonder if they change their defense up after those last 2 plays here Bahamas. It was causing some issues earlier. Looks like they have gone back to a regular man-to-man. Fernandez. Nice movement off the ball. Oh, but no finish. Fernandez cutting the baseline well. He needed points at the end of it, though. And there underneath is Rashad Davis to lay it home. Still knocking at the door, Bahamas, but at some point they're going to have to get a few consecutive stops and scores, because time is slowly drifting away from them. That is a tough play. He's got to do something spectacular, Chris Ortiz, to get that to go. Hunter. That's been the point of attack, but Mobley misses. That low block, they keep finding guys open down there. On the near side as we look at it. Melendez to Fernandez. Fernandez, little hesitation, shot clock at 4. Fernandez for 3, not quite. Mobley hands it off to Miller, Franco Miller. Jones, he wants it. He's looking to go one-on-one, but he slips. Throws it into the backcourt, and it's a backcourt violation. Well, Kai Jones called for the ball. He fancied the matchup, but he ended up turning it over. Possession in the front court, though, so you only get 14 seconds. At a rather 24. They're trying to milk this clock. Puerto Rico, you can see the anguish on his face. He knows there's still plenty of work to be done. Plummer running the baseline inside to Romero with the one-handed power jam. The captain having a sensational game as he looks to guide his team to victory. Miller shovels it under, and there's a jam right back at you. Kai Jones, when he's been in and around the basket, they said it in a very early timeout, get to the dunker spot. He's been so effective down there. Offensive foul called off the board, must be on Romero. If it is, it's his 4th. And will they take him out? 2:48 to go. Toro is ready to come in. Look at this, after a big highlight play. We get another one at the other end, and then Romero called for his 4th foul. Timeout. And time running out as far as Bahamas are concerned. They are still 9 points down. They had a little run at the beginning of this quarter, but they haven't been able to sustain that. And they're getting into the point where They really, really need some consecutive stops. Both teams have 2 timeouts left, plenty of fouls to work with. That might go against the Bahamas in the end if they have to get into a foul situation. First of all, they got to get close enough for that to matter. You're on the big screen. Down 9, just 2:48 left to play. Bahamas with the ball, but they got to be quick. Puerto Rico trying to split the home games in this window, having had their hearts broken by Canada. Oh, did that come off Miller's foot? Looked like it did to me. Yes, it did. That's not what you need out of a timeout. A turnover. And Coach Gonzalez going straight back to 2 of his key starters in Thompson and Romero. Ortiz. Plenty of clock to burn here as far as Puerto Rico are concerned. Now they might need to think about it. Romero taking it to the basket and taking it to the Bahamas. 20-10 now for the big man. Mobley for 3, has to go, doesn't go, but an offensive rebound by Davis. And they'll get 2 underneath here as Kai Jones once again dunks it home. But there are only 2 minutes to play, and it's still a 9-point advantage for Puerto Rico. Romero. Ziegler. Got to think about it now with the shot clock ticking. Down to Romero again. Here he goes with the hook. Can he get his own rebound? Diving on the floor. He nearly got there. He gets an explanation before he gets to his feet. He thought there might have been a little nudge there. I think he was going down anyway, trying to get the ball. But long offenses are not the worst outcome. Bahamas are into must score every time down territory now. Blank possession's not an option as far as they're concerned. Well, they thought about full court press and they decided against it. Franco Miller for 3. Well, it's not done yet. Miller with the triple cuts the lead to 6. He's had a bit of a rough night from behind the arc, but there's still time to be a hero. Plummer down the lane, passes deflected up in the air. They've got it back, Bahamas. Could they steal it here with a minute to go? Miller. Round, oh, what a rejection, but Clark gets it back. Out to Miller, deep 3. Banks it in, can you believe it? Franco Miller, 2 threes in quick succession, and with 50 seconds to go, the Bahamas have made it a 3-point game. Well, Puerto Rico looked like they were right there at the finish line, but suddenly they've been dragged back by the Bahamas. 2 massive 3-pointers. Even when they get a great defensive play, that was a huge block, but Clark was able to stay with it, find his teammate, and Franco Miller, as I said, had been struggling from behind the arc by his standards in this game. He'd been 2 of 12. And suddenly he's made 2 in a row. And Puerto Rico suddenly will be getting flashbacks. Certainly the fans will be a lot more nervous than they were a few moments ago. Well, Franco Miller, that's a quality shot, but this one from miles out, under pressure, okay. Did he call back? Who cares? It's worth 3 on the scoreboard. 50.1. Bahamas will, Puerto Rico will certainly take this in the backcourt. You want the 24-second shot clock. The question is, do Bahamas go into foul mode? Because they'd have to give up 4 to get them to the line. If you trust your defense, you basically lose half the clock. It looks like they're trusting the defense. They've got to come up with a stop, though. If you lose half the clock, you can't go down 5 or 6. Oh, there was a chance there. Ortiz for 3. Doesn't go. Ball is loose. Who'd that touch? It was the hand of Miller. So it will go back to Puerto Rico. 33 seconds to go. A massive offensive rebound. It'll go down as a team rebound. But you know, the big man, Ismael Romero, was in there causing havoc, as he has done all game. We're going to get another timeout here. Well, 14 seconds on the shot clock, 33 seconds on the game clock. You know Puerto Rico are going to try and use as many of those seconds as possible. So you're going to look at maybe 20 seconds back, but will they be down 1 shot or 2? The problem is, if they get into a situation where it becomes a 2-shot game, there's so many fouls to give that they're going to lose time just on giving those fouls. That's why they have to get a stop here, really. Take the foul situation out of the game. This is a potentially game-winning play that Coach Gonzalez is trying to draw up for his team. Can they get a good look? They had a good look on the last play, to be fair. That Ortiz 3 was a pretty decent look. But they got a new 14. That's probably worth as much as the points, to be honest with you. It's a really awkward spot to inbound it from. Right down in the corner. Hunter trying to make it difficult, but they get it in pretty easy. Ortiz hands it over to Ziegler. Ziegler under pressure from Davies. Round the screen. Ziegler, little hesitation, goes underneath, his block from behind, he gets his own rebound, and there's a foul called on Kai Jones, and that is not what they wanted. They got the block, so the shot clock didn't reset. It was down to 2, and now the foul resets the shot clock, and it's an end-line ball, and I think they probably have to go into foul mode now. Doesn't look like they are. Well, one score here wins the game, surely. Here's Romero, out to Thompson. He misses. It's another offensive rebound. They've done it again, Puerto Rico. They haven't made a shot here down the stretch, but they've got all the offensive rebounds to just keep milking the clock. And they're 6 seconds away from victory. This is where the fouls to give is still an issue with 6.3. It's got to be a quick foul, and they need another one after that. Ziegler to inbound, got to get it in. He does. Plummer is away from him. Plummer is running the clock, and the grab comes a little late. 3.7. The referees might just have a word here. about what type of foul. It is a regular foul. I think that's the right decision. Now they've got to the limit, but there's only 3.7 left. They still need to commit one more. And it comes, but they lose a second as Ortiz is fouled. Well, Ortiz needs one here. One wins the game. Take a deep breath, make a free throw. Well, he looked the calmest man in the building, didn't he? It didn't look like there was any chance of a missed shot there. And that's enough. Even a miss here, you just get out of the way. Everybody get out of the way so that you don't mistakenly commit a 4-point play opportunity. If it goes in, great. If it doesn't, don't worry. It does go in. And they will call a timeout, but whatever you draw up, it's pretty hard to draw up a 5-point play in 2.7 seconds. It would take something catastrophic for Puerto Rico from here. Something like an unsportsmanlike foul on a 3-point shot. And I'm sure at the other end of the floor, Coach Gonzalez is just saying to his team, get out of the way. Let them shoot. Let them do whatever they want. Just don't foul. Because 2.7, even if you fire up a 3, you might lose the whole clock. Just don't foul. Well, it was a spirited fourth quarter fight back. It looks like it's going to have fallen short for the Bahamas. It was easily their best quarter. A third of their offense in the game have come in the 9 minutes and 57 odd seconds. Well, of course you advance the ball. But as I say, Puerto Rico jump in front of the ball to make it difficult to pass, but don't do anything stupid. No inbound fouls, no any fouls. Well, they've thrown it too high, and Miller will throw it up, and Miller will miss, and that will do it. Puerto Rico get the win they so desperately needed. And they have seen off the Bahamas despite an incredible fourth quarter comeback by the visitors. Final score, Puerto Rico 71, Bahamas 66. They made a ton of shots in the fourth quarter, didn't they, Bahamas? Because there was a massive gap in the shooting percentages earlier in the game. They evened up the rebounding as well. But Puerto Rico had enough in the tank, led by their captain with 20 and 10. Ismael Romero, a tremendous game for him. And a little jig of celebration. The fans can go home happy tonight. Could have been 2 wins out of 2, they were close. But they've got the important one here to give themselves prime position, if you like, going into the final window. These two teams will meet again. Last game could be for all the marbles, who knows? Still some games to be played before that, but that game could be decisive. And well, it will be thrilling back in the Bahamas, I'm sure. But tonight in San Juan, it belonged to the captain, Ismael Romero, and his team, Puerto Rico. As I said at the top, not quite in last chance saloon coming into this game, but they could see it from where they were. And they've taken a big step away from that with a victory that will move them above the Bahamas in the standings. and back above the line in terms of qualifying for the second round, and back trying to breathe down the necks of Jamaica in second place as well. Puerto Rico have to go to Canada and to the Bahamas, so it's not an easy finish. It's still some hard work for them to do, but they've given themselves a chance at it. Look back at the fourth quarter, what a rally it was. For much of the quarter, they were just trading scores. And you were thinking, oh, Puerto Rico are going to see this home. They got everything they needed, but then suddenly, the Bahamas burst into life and got it back to within a shot. And I'm sure Puerto Rico were thinking, no, not again. But this time, they were able to come up with the key plays. In some ways, it was the rebounding as much as anything else for the Puerto Ricans. That last offense lasted an eternity because they kept getting offensive rebounds. And it didn't matter that they didn't score because they were milking the clock, and eventually they got some foul shots at the end of it to see it over the line. But a great effort from the Bahamas to come back. But Romero, when his number was called, as it was many times tonight, stood up and delivered when it mattered most. Well, they're underway, but obviously nowhere near finishing yet in Kingston, Jamaica. So we'll have that one for you later on. But a good win for Puerto Rico, and what that does before the night is out is move them over and above the Bahamas into third spot in the group, and they'll be much happier with that than where they started here this evening. Big win for Puerto Rico. They've beaten the Bahamas 71 points to 66.